Hey, welcome back guys. Today I have a new video for you guys, and it's a video on how to improve your accuracy, or I should say your aim. I was a little bit apprehensive about making this video, mostly because I'm not a professional nor am I a high SR player, and I thought it would make my opinions irrelevant, but then I thought I'm just like everybody else. 80% of the people in this game are not professionals, nor are they high SR. Most of them are in diamond, gold, plat, and so on and so forth. Anything below masters. And these techniques and these practices affect all of these ranks. Even in higher tier ranks, I see professionals and other people practice these same exact techniques, but for some reason no one has covered these techniques. They always talk about going to custom games and doing anabots and things like that. Well, yeah, that helps, but what if you can't even aim at all? Or what if you don't even understand the beginnings of aiming or flicking or tracking or anything like that? They just go into the range and usually end up doing more harm than good. And yeah, these techniques you can pick up unconsciously while playing the game, but this is mostly a video for people who really want to practice and who really want to improve their aim. So let's get started. So to improve your aim, there are two things I want to cover. One of them is tracking and one of them is flicking. But also I want a disclaimer that these practices might seem very mundane or boring and very mindless. And that's the point. It's supposed to help out your reflexes and your hand-eye coordination. And the more mindless it becomes, the more natural it is. And that is the point. And if it becomes very boring and very mindless, then that is great. That is the point of this, and you'll see yourself progress in time, and over time you'll be like, wow, I'm landing shots and more shots. So let's get right into this video. So I want to go over tracking. Tracking is what everybody does in this game in the first place, which is following your target. And it seems very boring and very simple, and that seems kind of the natural thing to do, right? Well, it is. Just about all the heroes in this game require some form of tracking, some more than others. And the most obvious example of this is Soldier. But this transitions to like D.Va, Zarya, Tracer. That's just to name a few. And you can practice this a little different depending on what hero you're playing, but for the most part, you can go to the practice range and just follow the bots with your cursor. You can do it standing if you can't do it moving, and if you can do it moving, then go move and follow the moving targets. And then from then on, just try to shoot them while they're moving and just follow them. Very basic exercise. If you can't do that yet, then practice that first, because before we get into flicking, you need to learn how to lock down on a target and follow them, which is the basics of aiming. So once you practice that and you can actually do this, just focus them down and shoot them, and keep doing this over and over and over and over again until it becomes natural. And just keep doing this even once it becomes natural. You'll just get better and better and better over time. Practice makes perfect. Remember this. Practice makes perfect. Even professionals practice. Everyone practice. And also keep in mind that everybody misses. Professional misses. And also another thing to mention is don't look at your stats. Overwatch is the team-based game. This is a fact that I'm gonna make for another video, but keep this in mind. Statistics don't make the player. The player doesn't make the statistics. Your statistics don't show who you are. They don't reflect how good of a player you are, nor does your SR. Keep that in mind. Now let's move on to what I was going to say. For example, like I said, you follow your target and you keep shooting. That's the most basic thing. If you're on Zarya, you follow your target, you throw their beam, and make sure to try to stay as consistent as possible with the beam on them. If you're Soldier, keep on shooting them. If you're Tracer, there's a very nice technique you can do, which is following your targets closely, since Tracer is a little bit more closer combat than Soldier or anybody else, because that's when she does the most damage, and then follow them around. Once you've gotten used to that, you can start shooting them while you're following them around. And I mostly try to aim for the head, because that's usually where you want to aim at. Try to get as many crits as possible, because it builds your ult and it does a lot of damage. And anybody can do that. Anybody can have use of that. So you just keep following them around and shooting them. If you get really good at this, or you're a Tracer player, then you can just start blinking around and shooting while you're doing this, and just advance. Another thing you can do is going to a still target and trying to move left and right as far as you can, and keeping your cursor on them while you're shooting or while you're not shooting, and just keep doing that just to make sure you can stay locked onto a target as long as you can, or just make that into a habit. And over time you'll realize that when you start aiming, you can aim directly at that target. So let's move on to flicking. Flicking is a little bit hard to explain the best way I can explain it is unconscious flicking. Have you ever went against the Widow? Because this is the most obvious examples. Gone against a Widow, she's aiming near you but not on you, and instantly her cursor flicks straight to your head or to your body and you die. And that is a natural reflex that people have. Very much how when someone throws a ball at you, your hand automatically goes up and tries to catch it because that's a natural reflex. And that's what flicking is. It is unconscious aiming. And the reason this is a thing is because tracking, which is consistently thinking, and conscious aiming is too slow for very important shots. Most characters that require flicking are characters that have very few shots, or they have a very slow fire rate where every shot matters. So what you want to do is get really good at flicking, which is unconscious or natural reflex aiming, meaning that your body will naturally move over to a target and shoot unconsciously. Because if you do it naturally, you don't have to process it. It's just instant. And that's the best way I can explain what flicking really is. But how do you go about practicing this? So the best way I can go about this is saying going to a still bot and putting your cursor right in the middle or right next to your target and moving your cursor right next to it. And then flicking it back. And flicking it in the opposite direction or flicking it back, and keep doing this. It seems very boring, but trust me, in time, it will show. So you keep doing this very slowly. It might be unnatural to you, or it might be a little bit more natural to you. Some people pick these things up naturally through the game, but this is a little bit more consistent than playing the game. That seems a little bit counterintuitive, but it's fact. If you play the game, yes, you can pick these up, but you won't become as accurate as if you just practice them on your own. And that's the point of this. So you keep doing this back and forth until you get good at it. And then once you think you're good enough to do that, then you go over to moving targets. And like I said, it requires a little bit of tracking where you follow a little bit and then you flick towards your target. Like I said, it's unconscious instant aiming. The reason you don't want to track is because the target will move even slightly over and you will miss. And with flicking, you'll just unconsciously, you'll flick right to it naturally. So the more you do this, the more natural it becomes, and you'll be amazed at the results you will get. You'll be like, wow, I don't even know how I'm doing this, but I'm landing every single shot. And that's probably the easiest way I can explain it to you, because flicking, all it really is just that. Tracking a little bit and then flicking towards your target and hitting it. You might not get used to it now, but trust me, over time you will. And if you guys want to know a little bit about my background, I'm a flex DPS player, meaning that I play damage dealing classes regardless of class, meaning that they can be in offensive and defensive, healing, and even in tanks. So I play all the offensive characters. I play Hanzo, Widow, Mei, and then I also play Zarya, Reinhardt, and Roadhog. I play Diva as well, but those three are probably my favorites, and I'll play Ana because it requires aim. And what I can really tell you guys is that I wanted to become a person who can flex in any kind of situation. You need a Mahkii, I'm there. You need a Genji, I can do this. You need a Zarya, I can do that too. And that's kind of the kind of personality and kind of mentality I want people to have in this game. Because I feel that people are way too focused on maining one character. And that kind of becomes a little bit of a detriment. But the reason I'm saying this is not because I want you guys to play a lot of characters, but because I feel that self-improvement is very important. And also to motivate you guys, so you guys know that I used to be a 1700 ranked player. One day, I was placed at 2400, and I got really upset and tilted my way all the way to 1700. I don't have screenshots, but I do have a screenshot of when I was at 1925. And I had to solo queue my way up all the way from 1700 all the way back to 2500, where I am now in plat. I took a little break because it was very tiring to do that, but like I said, these practices and flexing helped me out a lot, and I want this to be a motivation to people to understand that elo hell does not exist. A lot of the elo hell is people's mentality to not want to switch and be stubborn, or want to practice, or want to do something else. And that's kind of the main point of this video, not just improving your aim, but improving yourself as a player. And that's kind of the ending note I want to end here. Try to improve as much as you can. Don't set your eyes so narrow. Dream big, and make sure you get that goal. Thank you guys very much. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. I haven't been uploading a lot because of school. Recently, university, I've been really busy with that, and I've been streaming a lot more recently because I haven't had time to record videos, because these videos actually take a lot of time to do. And it might seem that these videos don't take a lot because they're very short, 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe, some 5, but a lot of hours go into making these videos. My last 15-minute video took me about 5 hours to edit. Not even considering the 4 hours it took to record everything. But yes, I want to end this here. So please subscribe, like, follow. If you guys are interested in Overwatch gameplay, I stream. I don't have any schedule yet because of school, but make sure to follow my stream, and I'll make sure to let people know when I do stream. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed.